Well, my major lines of research has to do with cancer, and I worked for the MD Anderson, which is probably the largest cancer institute in the world, for 30 years, where I mainly work in causes of cancer and basically using animal models and tissue culture models and human samples. You see, the objective of our research is to understand mechanisms of cancer, mechanisms of environmental cancer, things in the environmental and the environment that cause cancer, and see how do they interact with the cells to produce cancer. In the last year, I have moved to Texas A&M, and I continue my research on cancer. We're mainly working in mammary cancer and breast cancer, and using animal models on human samples. We're trying to establish some correlations and looking for risk factors for breast cancer, and particularly in women of color, because there is a problem with minorities that has cancer at earlier ages and much more aggressive. Our research is primarily basic, but we look into what we call translation research. We see things that can be taken to the clinics, and mainly in the area of cancer prevention, identifying particular risk or particular patients that can be at higher risk. And of course, part of our research also can be used in drug development, but we're not in the business of drug development, which is a completely different area that require very large laboratories, and usually NIH grants cannot afford. One of the ways we are looking at prevention is by looking at dietary factors. That's one of the major things, and seeing what is, we know that obesity is linked to cancer, but we don't know what exactly in obesity will cause to cancer. So we have to combat obesity in general, but in particularly we thought for many years that fats and favor cancer, and probably do, but we're thinking that up to a great extent, sugars are maybe the main enemy. So, and the association between diabetes and problem with metabolism of sugar and cancer is very clearly established. Well, for many years, one of the cancers I have studied during my career has been skin cancer, and I have been in some collaborative projects with people that from the Department of Bioengineering here, and they study not directly cancer, but they study a lot of genetic diseases that are particularly adequate to be treated with bioengineer type of methodology. Since my expertise is molecular pathology and experimental pathology, they thought that I can contribute to that program by adding my type of expertise to the program and the teaching even to the students. And so I've been working in some diseases of the skin that are genetic they're essentially genetic, etiologically genetic. In most of the cases, we have defined which genes are mutated, and by knowing which genes are mutated, we use animal models to try to correct this anomaly in animals, in And then that's where my expertise comes, because I can, in, let's see, any artificial, like we do artificial skin, for example, all the pathology of that skin, that's my expertise. And I not only collaboration with the people with the current project here, but also initiating new projects and mentoring some of the people in my specific area of expertise.